Good evening from Xfinity Center, where Maryland takes it over Penn State, 64-58. Slugfest of a game. Bruce, what do you got for us tonight?
I got a great effort by John Graham. His dad just told me that was his highest amount he scored since he got out of high school. 16 points today. Worked well with Mello on those 3 straight buckets that turned the game Maryland's way. But it took a great effort from Des Wells. A couple real good minutes by DeMonte Dodd down the wire, and Mello's 8 assists. But it's a win, and they had a win, and it was not pretty. They only scored 64 points.
That game was there to be had by either team down the stretch.
There was a sense that Maryland controlled it. Not much, though.
Not by much.
There was a sense. Des came in when Newbill was hot early on and really shut him down. And then finally the coach probably told Newbill, well, you're shooting no matter what happens.
Right. And Newbill ends up with 18 points, 6 of 19 from the floor, 2 of 7 beyond the arc, 4 of 6 from the line, 7 boards, 5 assists. Newbill played a complete game. He just didn't have enough help.
6 for 19, though, doesn't do it. It took a couple of...
Well, he became a volume shooter. You're right. They told him to just shoot because he was the offense.
Well, number 10, Brandon is a Taylor. Hit a couple threes down the wire to make the game close. But, look, Maryland took care of business. They're having... I don't know what it is. Mello only had 4 points. Pack had none.
Right.
All right, what did Dodd wind up with?
Dodd goes 1 of 2 from the floor, 2 of 4 from the line, 4 points. Really was, Wells has 23, Lehman 10, Graham 16.
That's about it. Yeah, that's about it.
That's it for the stats for the moment. When we were talking on the radio earlier tonight, you said this is a game we had to have.
Had to. And you got 3 more coming up in my eyes. You've got to win, all right? Nebraska, Indiana, and Michigan here. And hope you could steal one on the road, which I think you'll be able to.
Okay.
And that'll give you 11 wins. And that's what it's going to take. Now, all that changes if by some happenstance they go to Iowa on Sunday and win the game. Then you could start looking at it a different way. But the team, I don't believe, is playing well enough to win on the road right now.
No, there's something's not exactly right. Hey, before we get too much further, I want to thank our sponsor, Meyer Consulting Engineers in Rockville, for being a sponsor for this year's TerpTalk postgame videos. Meyer Consulting Engineers. In the past 5 years, our organization has completed over 1,300 projects in the U.S. and abroad, including many structures at the University of Maryland. For structural engineering and materials testing and inspection, call Meyer Consulting Engineers.
Thank you very much, Mr. Meyer.
So the Terps are really in the middle of the pack statistically in the Big Ten. The
statistics are for losers. It's all about W's. Right now they're 7-3, and what do you have? Indiana 6-4.
Right.
Michigan State.
Well, I have it right here in hand.
Okay. I think Michigan State 7-3.
It's Wisconsin, Maryland, Ohio State, Michigan State, Purdue, Indiana, and Michigan, and that's your top 7 teams there.
Yeah, very close. Very
close. So Maryland moves to 7-3, which makes them a solid second in the conference behind Wisconsin.
Well, there's a big gap between that 7-3 and that 9-1. Wisconsin's playing unreal, but I like our chances here. We're a different team here, but wow, the shooting hasn't been there. I don't know what the shooting was from the 3-point line, but it was nothing to brag about.
No. We've had a lot of, for a team that's supposed to be pretty good, there was a lot of shots that you just don't know what Maryland was actually thinking. Desperate runs at the rim, off-balance layup attempts. There were very few smooth offensive plays, and you're looking there to say you're 3 of 15 beyond the arc.
15 beyond the arc. That's not going to do it. 15 for 24 from the foul line.
Yeah, it's just not a smooth performance. Maryland had the lead 29-28 at halftime. It got out, I believe it was 39-31 in the second half, and the game gets really tight on us. And with about 12 minutes to go, Penn State gets to 42-41 and 9:41 to go. Penn State actually took the lead here. And the crowd was good. We came back. Graham scored 3 points in a row. It goes back and forth.
3 buckets in a row, 6 points.
All right. And finally, Lehman gets a bit of got open right in the middle. And Maryland finally got a 3-point lead again.
I love those passes from Mello to the big man down low when he was being swamped. You know, he has such a great sense of the game. He knows when and how and when he should shoot, when he should drive, when he should pass. So here's a game tonight. Without Mello, you know they don't win this game.
Oh, absolutely.
All right? Because Mello, 1 turnover, 35 minutes.
Right. So he manages to dominate a game in a way when he doesn't even score.
But you watch enough Terp basketball, and I've been around a few more years. Here's my point. When Mello has the ball, you have confidence. Mm-hmm. And you can only think of a few guys like that in the history of Maryland. Maybe you can count them on 2 hands. You know, Dixon, Blake, John Lucas, they're
all up there on
right.
the rafters.
Yeah, basically they're all up there. Gravis.
Yeah.
Right. There are certain guys you want the ball in his hands. The difference with this guy, Mello Trimble, is he's a freshman. All right? And he's continues to play great, and Maryland's 19-4, and that's it. That's the bottom line.
Yeah. Okay, I'll take that as a bottom line. One of the parts that I loved at the end of the game, and I know you'd say there's no connection between the football and the basketball, but when the students start chanting, just like football, as Maryland beats Penn State again, and you say, watch out. When we go to Penn State, it's going to be a different game. When we go to Rutgers, it's going to be different.
Yeah, it will be. I'll be happy, real happy to split those two because they'll both be gunning for us. Wayne, talk a little bit about signing day today. My analyzation, I know there's a lot of people upset that they missed out on Prince, but let's be real. We missed out to the national champions.
Yes.
It's not like, we got beat by, an equal or a team less than us.
Right.
We got beat out by the national champions. But when you look, it was Randy's purpose to fill up the lines.
And he does.
And he did.
Yeah.
I mean, you had about 5 or 6 offensive linemen.
We can talk about Corvez Bulware, the number 1 lineman in D.C. and maybe the 4th best guard around. I mean, that's a 4-star quality guy. E.J. Donahue from Ligonor. You've got McKinney from McDonough. You got Adam McLean on the defensive side. A big get for Maryland. You got a quarterback who on film looks pretty good, a kid from West Virginia.
What was the total class, 20?
18. Maryland said, Edsel said, they actually had 24 visits, and Maryland lands 18 kids. My point now, a couple hours later, if Maryland had landed 19 of the 24 kids they were after, we'd all be hugging each other.
Is there a final ranking of the class?
Yeah, I was talking to Freddie from Boca. He said Maryland, he saw on ESPN, he thinks Maryland was in the 40s. What I want to say is out of 18 kids, our average star rating was pretty good. That's
Definitely.
A low class ranking because we only had 18. If we had the 23 or 24 kids we usually take, with that star rating, we'd be under 30. So, hey, we filled the needs that we had. If we got one more lineman, if we got one more defensive back, that would have been great. We got some offensive sizzle, but we really filled up the offensive line.
Now, what did I read that there's a possibility of a couple fifth-year guys coming in?
Yeah, that's what Randy said, that he's looking to see who was out there as a fifth-year transfer, so they come in here 1 year. He didn't want to just give the scholarships away. From the sense that I got from listening to him is that Maryland's going to compete with your Ohio State and Penn State and Michigan State. We're going after those kids. And if we don't get them, he's not just going to give the scholarship away. He thinks we can win. And talking about going up against Urban Meyer and Ohio State, we went up against them for Diggs, we won. We went up against them for Damian Prince, we won. Isaiah Prince today, we lost. But if you can go 2 for 3 against Urban Meyer, you're doing pretty well.
Yeah, I agree, and I think you're just not going to land everybody yet. If you have the Under Armour Center in a few years, that would be a difference. That would be a deal breaker.
Everybody says the class of 2016 is the class, and Maryland's got a good start on that. We need to get a quarterback. We need a couple more linemen. I'm starting to think we can do it, this move, the DMV, D.C., Maryland, Virginia, to UMD. It seems to be working. We got a lot of local kids, and a lot of them have 3 or 4 stars. That's a good look for me.
All right, I think that about does it. Of course, the women keep rolling along, number 5 in the country.
Right. Did you see that game on, was that Sunday?
I didn't go to it. I saw
it on TV.
Yeah, I saw some of it. They look great. I mean, they're deep. They got Lexi Brown as an outright star,
right?
And Brianna Jones and Shatori Kimbrough Walker.
Kimbrough Walker was really impressive.
She was, but this is every game. They're dominant. So great things will happen for them. I'll be honest with you. Today I'm ecstatic. 19-4 for the men. It'll be a good ride home.
Yeah,
right.
It's going to be a happy ride home. Hey, we beat Penn State in another sport. I'll take it. This is Wayne Viener for Bruce Posner, a Baltimore-based crew on 1300 CBS Sports Radio. Listen to Terp Talk on Wednesdays, the Sports Maven on Saturdays at 9 a.m. From Xfinity Center, it's Maryland 64, Penn State 58. Say goodnight, Bruce.
Have a good, safe ride home, everybody. And this will be up tomorrow morning, or?
It'll be up
tomorrow morning for sure. So long, 19-4. I love it.